In this video, we're going to talk about 3 things that you need to know about startups from the guy that actually wrote the book on startups. Hey guys, welcome to the video. Thanks for watching. My name is Eric Hurst. I'm a business strategist here at Crema, and I'm here with Elliott Adams, the author of the Startup Mixtape. This guy literally wrote the book on how to grow a startup. Elliott, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you coming in.
Of course, glad I could do it.
So one of the things you talk about a lot in the book, right off the bat, is the difference between startups and small businesses.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, it's actually really critical. So for folks who are wanting to start a new business, whatever kind of business it is, it's important to understand, are you building a product that can be extremely scalable? That's the key thing. It's tough to know at the very outset which you are, but there are some ways you can understand which you are. And if you're not a startup, it actually helps you, because for companies that may have more of an incremental growth, they can save a lot of time not chasing investor money, not doing a lot of things that those high growth startups have to do.
So you mentioned a couple things in there that I want to get to, scaling and fundraising, but to sum up, it sounds like the main difference between a startup and a small business is really how they grow, either that explosive growth and scaling accordingly, or a slow and steady growth. And one's not better or worse than the other. It's just really a difference in how the company intends to grow.
That and hoodies. That's right.
Hoodies, you got to have the swag.
Right.
That's right.
That's definitive.
One thing you talk about in the book also is doing things that don't scale, and that's a fairly popular adage in the tech world. Talk about what you mean.
Paul Graham had a great essay titled "Do Things Don't Scale," and the idea here is that it's probably natural for smart folks who are building new companies to think about, this is my vision, and I want to go straight out of the gate with all of the amazing features and functionality that I want from day one.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all of those right now.
Right. And it's, when you look at competition, it's hard not to think, we got to put our best foot forward.
And we got to match them feature for feature.
Exactly. What's more true is that in a startup, you're trying to find a new business model. That's really your goal. You're searching for a new business model. And so it's not so much of having this finished product at the very beginning. What you want to do is, with doing things that don't scale, the most painful, as it suggests, non-scalable way, test out that critical assumption in that business model you're trying to find. Groupon's a famous example where, when they first started, their site was a WordPress site, and they did all the transactions manually through PayPal, and then when they'd have someone buy the Groupon, they would actually make a PDF and send it to that person over email manually.
Yeah, I remember that.
No software, right?
Yeah.
So the point was, they proved the business model. They proved people would want to buy these deals. You want to focus on just proving that kind of hypothesis before you spend all this money investing in software and processes.
Yeah, so it really is kind of the scientific method in that you form a hypothesis of how the business will work, build a few different ways to test that out, and those are generally manual steps, like you mentioned. Now, you mentioned funding also. How does all of this play into fundraising? When you're doing something that doesn't scale, you may or may not be a high growth startup yet. What is it that venture capitalists are looking for?
What a lot of funders are going to do is understand who you are as a founder. They want to invest in people, right? So this idea of bet on the jockey, not the horse. I think one misconception people have is, I have a great idea, and the idea is what gets funded. That's absolutely not true at all. Team, traction, market, idea, right? Idea is last. Funding is not idea driven most of the time now. There's so many companies working in the same spaces, on the same exact ideas. Differentiation is you as a founder, how you're demonstrating that you can grow this product in the market. When that can be demonstrating your marketing acumen, that can be demonstrating your superior product, distribution strategy, whatever it might be. The bar is getting higher and higher because there's just more companies out there.
Yeah. Okay. So team, traction, market, idea, in that order. That's what they're looking for.
It's a Techstars thing, yeah.
All right.
And I think a lot of other funders would agree.
Thanks to Elliott for joining us today, talking about these things, the difference between a startup and a small business. And you may not know exactly what you are right off of the bat, but it's important to figure it out pretty quickly. Are you going to grow and scale quickly at a high pace, or are you going to grow slowly and steadily and minimize risk for failure, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
And then additionally, doing things that don't scale. Again, it's something that you hear a lot, and Paul Graham popularized that whole idea. But the idea of figuring out, we think the market is going to do this, what sort of things can we do on our own that will not scale? Maybe they're not automated, maybe they're very manual things. Lastly, when you're looking for funding, knowing that venture capitalists are looking at you. They want to invest in you and your team more so than they want to invest in your idea. It goes team, traction, the market, and then lastly, it's your idea. Again, the Startup Mixtape by Elliott Adams here, the guide to building and launching a high-growth tech startup. Join us next week. We'll be talking about technical debt, defining what it is, how to avoid it, and then what you can do about it once you actually have it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Catch us on Twitter and Instagram as @CremaLab. Same thing on Facebook. We'll be back next week.